In this video, I'm going to discuss the difference between standard deviation and standard error. We're going to look at this through an example of per pupil expenditures, and specifically those that are spent on child nutrition services. These total child nutrition per pupil expenditures include state, federal, and local funds. We'll start with a histogram that is drawn for this data, showing bins with a range of $100 with a low end value of less than $300 up to $1,100. And we'll see that the mean is $569.19, and the bin from 501 to 600 is the largest bin, and then it falls off in both directions away from that mean. The associated standard deviation is $129.16, and the standard deviation represents the spread of these individual observations, each one representing a local education agency, an LEA, or a school system. And so the standard deviation is giving us an estimate of the spread of that data, and we know from our rules of distribution that approximately 2/3 of the observations will occur within one standard deviation of the mean. Approximately 95% will occur within 2 standard deviations of the mean. The standard error has a similar concept, but it's applied only to the mean. So sometimes also referred to as the standard error of the mean. And we can calculate this in Excel by dividing the standard deviation by the square root of the number of data points, and we have 115 data points. And the standard error has the same units as the mean. So the standard error in this case is $12.04, and what this represents is that the spread that we would have of the mean if we were to take multiple samples. So if we have this larger population and we take multiple samples of that population, we're going to expect that the mean is going to vary. We're not going to have the same mean with every sample we take, but we're going to have some expectation that they are within some certain value of each other, and that's represented by the standard error. And it has a similar application as we saw with standard deviation, so we'll expect that 2/3 of the time that we take a sample and compute a mean, that 2/3 of the time we will have the mean of that sample within one standard error of the mean computed here. And that we'll also have 95% of the time we'll have the mean within 2 standard errors of the mean we have computed here. So that's the way that the differences between standard deviation and standard error. Again, they're very similar in concept. Standard deviation applies to those individual observations of the data, and the standard error is specific to the mean, looking at how the spread of different calculations of mean will occur with different samples. It's also possible to let Excel calculate some of these common values, including the mean, standard deviation, and standard error, amongst other values, using the data analysis tool, which is under the data ribbon. And we need to add the tool pack in to make this available. So if you don't see it in your Excel, you'll need to make that add-in available. And we'll choose Descriptive Statistics, and we're going to select our input range. It's going to be basically all of column S, except we're going to exclude the state total in the bottom row. And we need to make sure we have it checked that labels are in the first row because we selected the column heading. And we're going to put this in a new worksheet, and we want to see the summary statistics. So those are the things that we're going to want to make sure we have selected. And then you'll run the analysis, and you can see the same mean, standard deviation, and standard error that we computed manually in the previous worksheet. And it's also possible to run descriptive statistics on multiple columns at once. They do need to be adjacent, but it is possible to look at these descriptive statistics for several columns at a single time.